Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is Rage, and we are back today with a continuation video here from the progress we've made from Escape from Kyln. Now that we're working on the cells 23 and above, ultimately on our goal of unlocking a diamond GWENOM by the time that this is said and done. So let's get right to it. This is the next section being global mystic characters at gear tier 15. Personally, I would highly recommend characters like Morgan Le Fay and Agatha Harkness. They're going to have some great synergy. Dr. Doom, Spider Weaver, Quicksilver, these are all viable options right now. Thankfully, the characters I'm using right now are actually all gear tier 17 or 18, so we're not going to have any issues whatsoever. We do need to be mindful though of this, some of the characters that we're up against though, because they have some good supportive capabilities. I'm totally fine with using some of the abilities from my characters too, just because we're going to be building it up over the next 2 nodes here anyways. And with Global Mystic, there's just so many good characters that you can take advantage of. So take down Mockingbird. I think she's obviously going to be a good one to focus in on. There's a lot of healing characters that I've noticed with this one. And you can see there the supportive assisted attacks with Agatha. It's why I really like that placement of both Morgan and Agatha being in that corner. So that way every time there is an attack, there's going to be an assisted attack, as you can see right there. It's just some really, really good synergy there. Okay. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just using my basic ability, guys. It's not too bad right now because of how much stronger our team is. But if you guys are going through this, I would have recommended a similar attack order, because some of those damage dealers, getting them out of the way and then leaving characters that are not really relevant about, statistically, or maybe they're just supportive, more in a supportive row. That's what I would recommend. So that way you're giving time for your characters to build up turn meter, in addition to ability energy, and kind of carrying that over into the next cell or into the next node if you're using those characters again. This node here, you can see we're up against a mixture here of the Eternals with Nova. I do recommend likely using Agatha Harkness's abilities here, because this is a good shutdown one, and especially if your Agatha is in gear tier 17 like myself, it's going to be a big one to focus in on. So what I will do as well is I'm actually going to use Morgan Le Fay's ultimate here. That way it does give us a little bit of protection against this Eternals combination. And that's going to spawn the next wave here. And then what I am going to do is actually, well, you could have used the ultimate there from Agatha to start things off too, but I'm just going to save it. It's just, we have one more node with her, and I do want to use it for this last one. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to focus on Silver Surfer. He's definitely a big pain point. Nova is amazing for support, but after he uses his special and ultimate, he doesn't really do much more than that. So I think in terms of threats, definitely Thor Infinity War is definitely a bigger target to aim for. And then you're going to be left with these characters that are more of a supportive role, right? Especially once Nova gets his ultimate and special going. That's all he can really do. He's just going to be using his basic ability. We got rid of Icarus, and now it's just, Korg and Cosmo, and as well as Cersei. They're all supportive characters. No one's really going to be dealing damage to us, especially once we start, generating some barrier and using some of our synergies from our team. Agatha is actually taking a beating, unfortunately, but she is going to get that back pretty shortly here. I'd recommend leaving Cersei as the very last character in this node, just because she's pretty tanky. And at the same time, too, you can get some good ability energy from just attacking her with your basic abilities. So yeah, again, Agatha is a little beat up, but she's just getting some HP naturally back from herself. Our Spider Weaver is looking amazing in terms of the ability energy, so we can fully utilize her when we do have the higher nodes that we're up against. So the good news is that because we were conservative as well with Agatha Harkness's abilities, all her abilities are going to give us some natural protection as well, especially the barrier. So she's going to be getting her HP back up in in no time. But as I look higher and higher, yeah, it looks like this is going to be the last time I actually get to use some of these characters. You do want to be mindful, though, because we used... if you're planning to go to the legendary section, you might actually need Morgan Le Fay. So her abilities are full up, so I am going to switch things up a little bit here. I'm going to see if I can do this actually without Morgan Le Fay. Reason being is because ideally in a perfect world, especially since I didn't do the legendary section before too, I want Morgan Le Fay to be in a pretty good position. But this is going to be the last time I get to use Spider Weaver, so I'm not afraid to use her abilities to give us some natural protection. I do want to be using as many abilities as possible now, because we're not going to be using these characters again. So yeah, you can trigger Red Hulk there. As you can see, like I said earlier there, there's not much we can do here with Dr. Doom until he's a good one. He's a good one to charge up for sure. So that way you can actually use his ultimate from the get-go. But yeah, Red Hulk is going to be the issue with this node, especially if you can get his ultimate off. There's also a Kang that lands actually right here. But what I'm hoping for is I'm going to activate, yeah, beautiful, the ultimate there. Agatha went down, but you want to be aiming everything at potentially, anyways, this Kang in addition to Red Hulk. So that way we're going to be trying to eliminate all of them at once. Oh shoot, did I miss his ultimate? I thought I must have over tapped it, but that's okay. It worked out because we have such a strong Weaver. But yeah, ideally we should have used the special from Dr. Doom there. Whoops, that's my bad. I must have miscounted when I was going through it. That's okay though. It doesn't make a difference here in this case, as you guys can see. But yeah, we were able to save Morgan. In a perfect world, if you want to use Morgan with Agatha, by any means, but it's just you gotta be, you know, mindful of your cooldowns, because you just don't want that getting impacted later on, especially at such a low node here at cell 25. But as you can see, we got the job done with that team. No issues there. And villain mutants. This is where the fun does get pretty interesting here, because there's only so many villain mutant characters in the game as well. Obviously, Apocalypse being a big one. But I think a big one here for sure is Archangel. If you want to do the Dev Seed combination, you most certainly can. I think this is going to get the job done. I'm going to try to see. Actually, yeah, if you have Apocalypse, it's great, but I think this can get the job done. I don't think we need Apocalypse until later on. The next node, when we're up against that Extreme X-Men team, I would highly recommend bringing in Apocalypse, because this is the only time you can use them. But this should be able to get the job done, honestly. This combination here of Death Seed. Some good supportive buffs, offense up from the team. And these characters are, well, mostly everyone's Death Seed should be geared to 17 at least now. So just something to be mindful of there. So we're going to activate the ultimate here. Because, wow, these guys have so much dodge too, right? So, okay, so maybe, you know what? Maybe that's not the right play. Maybe this is not. Okay, so change of plans here. I think actually having the protection of Magneto, but as well, ideally I didn't want to bring in my Apocalypse, but we may not have a choice here because we're up against a pretty pesky new Avengers team. So just something to be mindful of here for this node specifically. But remember, we don't really want to use Apocalypse's abilities. We want to be using the ultimate here to give us some natural protection at the very beginning here. Activate the special from Archangel. Thankfully was able to take down Kestro, so that's kind of big, guys. That was a very big, that could have been RNG. I tried that once before and it didn't get as much luck. And now what I think is safe though is if you guys want to use Apocalypse's special, at least gives us a little bit more defense up, protection. I think it's okay to use the ultimate from Archangel there if you can able to one shot and get things going, right? But yeah, this is that initial burst of characters, I think, is going to be the issue with this one. Now, this is what I love about Apocalypse is you bring him in and he uses his basic. Oh man, this is beautiful. Yeah, so sorry guys, like I think having Apocalypse is pretty important in this node. Now, good news is you don't need these characters at gear tier 18, but this combination seemed to work really well for myself. Now, this next cell is the one that I was referring to earlier, which is pretty devastating in the sense that we do need to be mindful of this Extreme X-Men team. You need characters at gear tier 16. So I am going to be thinking about actually, you know what? Yeah, let's keep the same team, because ideally what we can do is build up energy for Magneto, even if he's not useful in this node. And then we can use that ultimate once again in the last and final node. So he's still a really good character to utilize, right? Oh, we were able to actually get. So this is pretty big. We were able to get enough energy generated from an Archangel. So that's pretty big, because what you want to be doing is ideally having the ultimate blind on Gambit initially here is pretty big. That ideally. Okay, let's go ahead. We're gonna focus on Gambit because he's gonna be obviously the pain point here. And then what I said before earlier, right? The reason why it can be difficult is because Forge has the revive, and there is going to be a Nightcrawler coming as well. So it's definitely important to, yeah, I think I want to use the special there. That way it also nicely gives us a cleanse. We're able to thankfully finish off another enemy. And this is where it gets problematic. I do not use Archangel's abilities because I have a feeling I'm going to be using Archangel later on. I think Magneto's probably done. And then, this is the only time you get to use Apocalypse, so might as well just use it or lose it, right? So, I got his ultimate at least. That finished up everybody. And an easy one-shot on Rogue. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so last one here, guys. Yeah, the nodes are getting longer, so I have to make my videos probably a little bit shorter too, because these nodes, especially with the problematic of it. But final villain mutant one here, and again, I think this is going to be the standard 3. We can bring in Apocalypse once again, which is nice. But now I do want to be mindful of the cooldowns, because Archangel is probably the only character that we can bring in, with him being a legendary character. I don't know about Magneto, to be honest. He just doesn't have that synergy with the Horseman. So I was not able to use the to get enough ability energy though, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to just see how this one goes. So ideally, can I one-shot Dormammu with the ultimate? Oh my goodness, so close. If I could finish him off, because ideally getting him down before. Oh yes, that's what I'm talking about. Getting him down so that way. Oh, and just feeding into Archangel's turn meter is absolutely huge, guys. Looking really, really good here. But now we do want to be mindful of those cooldowns again. And I think this is where it can be an issue too. This Def Seed combination right after that cluster. But again, because we have such a built-up Apocalypse, it just makes such short work. And then also on top of that, we have some secret defenders that we're dealing with after too. So I don't like, unfortunately, where my Archangel is kind of situated, because I do want him kind of healthier. Oh, nice. Okay, got the ability block there. That's going to give us a nice little distribution of HP. Oh, just look at how meaningful Apocalypse is. Just an absolute beast. I'm not going to use any abilities because, like I said, I want to be saving Archangel later on. So that's boom, 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 retaliation from Mr. Apocalypse himself. And just like that, this node is a wrap. Okay, I want to make this one a little bit shorter, guys. So there you guys have it. Just 2 sections, but at least you can rip through it. Hopefully this helps you guys out. And we'll continue trekking along here. Keep an eye out for all the videos, guys. I'm going to keep going through this and recording and sending it out, so that way you guys can look for exactly what you need to the climb up to Diamond GWENOM here. Thank you for your time as always. I'll see you guys pretty briefly here. Take care.